Hello and welcome back to GoldStockTrades.com. Today we have with us Jim Decker. Jim is Vice President of Operations and Technical Services with Rainbow Resources. Rainbow can be traded as RBW on the TSX Venture, and it also can be traded as RIINF on the OTC. Thanks, Jim, for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me, Jeb.
Jim, we just heard an announcement that Rainbow has intersected some impressively high-grade gold and silver intercepts at Gold Viking. Can you tell us more about what you're finding there at Gold Viking?
Yes, Jeb. We've only received assays for 6 of the holes so far, but the ones we've received are quite anomalous. We've got values ranging anywhere from a few fractions of a gram or a few hundredths of a gram to a high of 26.5 grams over 1.3 meters. We reported 17 grams over 1.9 meters, and that was just the gold portion. We've got some significant silver results as well. I think we had 5 different results of over 100 grams per ton in some of these intercepts, and we're talking at least 1 to 2 meters of width, which is quite significant.
Jim, talk to us a little bit about Southeast British Colombia. What do you find so interesting about the West Kootenays and especially the Gold Viking project, which has this high grade and near surface potential mineralization there?
Well, the big thing about southeastern BC, where we're doing this work, is mining has occurred there for the last 100 years. Gold Viking, for example, the first Gold Viking mine started in 1902, and they were mining mostly high grade silver, but gold as well. And there's been something like 5 million ounces of gold taken out of the overall area over the last 100 years. And what I find significant is the fact that this was mostly artisanal mines, or fairly small, modest mines, and it was the high grade that made it possible for them to do it, because we were talking about $35 an ounce gold or less compared to the $1,600 gold that we have today. So for them to been able to mine significant amounts like that back in those days meant that the grades had to be very, very high to justify that mining. And so for us to go in there now, we don't necessarily have to have that same high grade. We can have a fraction of it and still make a decent operating economic gold mine or silver.
Talk to us about some goals going into 2013. We know that Rainbow also controls the Jewel Ridge property in Nevada, which is just to the south of Barrick's prolific Ruby Hill mine. Can you give us an update on Jewel Ridge and what we could see going into 2013?
Yes. We've only received roughly half of the drill hole results from the Jewel Ridge drill program, but they were highly encouraging. And in addition, we have obtained a bunch of historical drill hole data for the property that we are currently having our geologists analyze and do some modeling with. Based on the 2012 results, that historical information, we will be doing a follow-up program to basically expand on what we already know. And in addition, we've picked up something like 19 private patented claims that are within our claim boundary. And there was a former producing gold mine on those claims, and with some very significant grades. So we're putting all this together to assemble a follow-up program in 2013, and hopefully in this first quarter.
Jim, could you talk to us a little bit about the Rainbow team? What sort of technical personnel is involved with exploring Southeast BC and Jewel Ridge?
Okay, well, I'll start with myself. We have a very small staff. David Johnson, the president, is the only full-time employee, and David has years of experience just in Canadian industry in general, but he also worked as an underground hard rock miner at Flin Flon about 45 years ago. So he comes by the mining part legitimately, but he's a very astute business person and likes mining and got involved in the Southeastern BC claims quite some years ago. I met up with him and decided that I liked what he was doing and got involved. I personally have about 40-some years of experience in mining, and most of it in open pit, but a lot of it in mining consulting, and that involves a lot of underground mining as well. And I've been involved off and on with junior exploration companies for the past 15 years directly, but I started prospecting with my father when I was a teenager. So I've literally got 50 years of experience in this game. I very much like gold, and I'm very excited about it. On the geology side, we have been using Moose Mountain Technical Services for our geology and exploration work, simply because we find it's more economic to use hired technical services as opposed to putting high-priced people on staff on a full-time basis. With consultants, we can turn them on, turn them off on an as-required basis, and thereby reducing our overhead. Bob Morris is the principal geologist from Moose Mountain that we've been using. Bob has 40-plus years of experience in geology, and he's a highly respected professional geologist in the mining industry internationally. And we've got a fellow from Bellingham, Washington. His name is Sean Derby. He's been contracted by Moose Mountain to do most of the work so far on our Jewel Ridge property. Sean is very experienced in Nevada and has done a lot of good work for us on the Jewel Ridge property and is highly enthusiastic about it.
Jim, can you give us any other insights going into 2013 about what makes Rainbow unique?
Yes, I would say what makes us unique is that while we're a junior exploration company, our focus is on finding a mine. And the best place to find a mine is where there's been one before. We have that situation in both our BC properties and Jewel Ridge. And we are going out looking for something that could make a mine. And I believe that the results that we've seen so far in our BC properties and Jewel Ridge both is that the potential is there for a mine. And so we'll be taking the sort of the next steps to increase our database, increase our knowledge base, and keep that goal going forward. And in both cases, I would suggest to you that all things being equal, we have the potential of coming up with a mining deposit in a much shorter period of time than most other deposits. The simple reason being our proximity to services and ease of access to get to our properties.
Well, Jim, thank you for being here with us today and for giving us an update on Southeast BC and for goals going into 2013.
Thank you for your time.